infection and disease, it fucking festers in the dark. Until you're willing to shine light on the bullshit will continue to happen.
Whoever listens to Drunken Disorderly podcast, not hype ass video. Our new intro is from Christian. And look, I can't fucking ever say his name.
Malazarte.
Okay.
Malazarte.
It's fucking cool. I mean, I wish I had a cool name like that.
He's badass.
Dude, so he's not in the party. And Josh was trying to be all like, hey, we should hire Christian to do all the stuff for the party because look at how good he is. I'm like, why do you hate him that much?
Right.
Why don't you love this man?
Why don't you want him to make a fair wage for his work?
Yeah.
So we are here. This is the post Libertarian National Convention Part A.
Session. First sitting.
First sitting. Yeah, dude. Scott was there. Dre was super there. And I watched it on YouTube, and Jesus Christ, that was a goddamn train wreck.
So what was the perspective from YouTube? Because it's different when you're watching it on YouTube and when you're there and trying to participate and counting votes and stuff.
All I know is that there were people from Tennessee claiming that the Tennessee delegation chair threw out votes for Vermin Supreme during the first ballot. And that's the one takeaway from YouTube that I have, really.
Okay, so I can't speak to Tennessee.
And those Tennessee boys were fired up.
Tennessee's not a state that I acted as a teller for, so. But I can tell you that every tally that was turned in was uploaded into the spreadsheet and then audited to try to catch mistakes. So whatever was submitted, that was what was recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But they were submitted from state shared tally sheets.
So, otherwise, this part is.
So how did that work? Did they come in email, Erin, or?
So there was a system set up, very similar to a Dropbox, so they got uploaded directly, and then a teller would grab that sheet, and you pull it up and double check them, write them all down, right, and then you move that sheet into the audit folder. Ballots that needed to be audited, and once they were audited, they got moved out of there to a completed audit folder. So there were a lot of steps, a lot of sets of eyes on every set of numbers, and it wasn't the same person. So like if I grabbed Oklahoma or Texas or Alabama or Louisiana to put them into the spreadsheet, those I didn't also audit those. Somebody else went in and audited those, just so we had checks and balances in place.
Was there somebody in charge of auditing the election buddy results?
So the election buddy results, each state chair got those and then audited them. I don't know how other state chairs did it. Our state chair sent everybody in the delegation the results. These are the results, and then he uploaded the tally sheet so that we all knew ahead of time. And I super appreciate the level of transparency that we have with our chair here. Yeah, I thought it was part of it went well.
Someone's asking what it's Eric. Fuck him. Never mind.
What, Eric?
What's the sparkly thing under your shirt? It's actually her green screen.
It's actually my green screen showing up on my blue shirt. Isn't that cool? That's what it is, because I have a blue screen and not a green screen, and it's a blue shirt.
So Scott gave me an epiphany today because we were talking about backgrounds and green screens, and I'm like, you know what? I've got these white walls. This room is used for literally nothing else.
Just
There's
paint
no
it.
reason not to have green walls.
Yeah, you can paint the ceiling too. And wrap everything around you.
Mm-hmm. I think I'll probably do like the filming half of the room in green, and then the other part keep it white just for lighting issues.
I mean, yeah.
Eric says he's going to seduce all my NPCs. Well, from now on, all of my NPCs are going to be tops. So you're just going to get.
Hi, Ryan. Guys, put Ryan's comment up. If you guys don't know Ryan Jenkins is the young man who gave the nominating speech or one of the nominating speeches for Judge Jim Gray. And I super enjoyed being able to work with you too. Thank you, Ryan. You guys, Ryan is the future of this party.
I'm the future of this party.
Ryan is 12.
I was really surprised. I was really surprised to see that Judge Jim Gray didn't do as well as we expected he would do.
When you say that you want Obama's voucher program, libertarians will turn and run. That was it. When he went on the Regent 6 and Anthony Welty's show back to back, I watched one and produced the other. After that, I'm like, this dude's blown out of the water. He can't
He wasn't really talking about Obama's voucher program. He was talking about a program that Milton Friedman wrote about and described.
Yeah,
there may be some similarities, but it's not the same program, and it would have reduced overall welfare burden by more than 50%.
The problem,
because the food stamp program would have been gone, the temporary aid to needy families would have been gone, Sooner Care, Medicare, all that stuff would have been gone.
So the problem with every time that we propose something like that, or we could say UBI, since that was talked about a lot. UBI is better than what we have now. Getting to UBI from where we are now is impossible. It's just going to grow, not shrink.
Well, when you're talking about UBI, yeah, but under Friedman's plan, what Friedman was saying is you incentivize people to get off the rolls. And we actually have seen this type of welfare reform work. John Engler instituted it in Michigan, and it did work. And they did reduce the welfare rolls. One of the other things he did there is he put a lifetime cap on welfare in Michigan. Mm-hmm. That I think has since been repealed, but it did work. You had 5 years lifetime that you could qualify for assistance. So if you use a year now and a year later, that's fine, but your lifetime was 5 years. And we did see reductions, and it does work. We've seen it implemented, and we've seen it work. But I get that for all of us as libertarians, man, there are just some things that there are some terms we like to talk about the left being snowflakes and being triggered, but when we get fucking triggered about shit, let's own that.
You know, it's a product of passion, Erin. I mean, it really is. The fragility is directly tied to the amount of investment people made emotionally. So the problem is we have a generation and that have been raised to believe that they are princesses and princes. And that everything should be handed to them on a platter. That's the challenge we're seeking to overcome. And so when things don't go our way,
we're talking about boomers right now, right?
No, it's even younger. Look, I'm going to tell you,
we're talking about fragile people. Fragile people.
The biggest problems in society today are caused by government and Walt Disney.
Yep.
I see young men, middle-aged men, boomer men being victimized every day because Walt Disney taught them that if you see a princess locked off in a tower somewhere, you're somehow obligated to try and rescue her. And the reality is, half the time those bitches are locked up for good reason, right? It's because they're batshit crazy.
Yep.
But this white knight syndrome that runs rampant, Gen X and younger especially, that we just have to, you have to help somebody, and you have to look. A lot of times, helping people is great, but helping people without their consent is abuse.
Yeah,
and we have to draw that line. There are a lot of people that are saying, "Look, this is the argument that the left uses in every anti-2A measure that they take." Right?
Yep.
Innocent people get killed by guns, so nobody should be allowed to own a gun, and if you break that argument down, the essence of that, we're seeing that applied now in the pandemic. Innocent people could get killed by a virus. Newsflash, innocent people will get killed by a virus regardless of anything we do.
Innocent people have been killed by the virus.
And have been killed by the virus. So yes, innocent people are going to get killed by a virus, but limiting somebody else's rights because of that is not an okay solution. It isn't. And it's really easy to fall into that trap, especially as libertarians, because we do care about people, right? Libertarians don't want to see people suffer and die. That's why most of us do this, because people are dying and being thrown in cages.
That's why libertarians don't like it. Sorry, no, reel that back. Find a better outlet. Did you see the guy that got killed today because of or I don't know when it happened, but the video came
Yes.
out today.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Dude, end the police state now.
Yesterday.
That
I'll give them
should
credit.
not
They
be a
at
thing.
least fired them already. I mean, that's a good first step. Now arrest them and charge them, and let's get them fucking hung.
But that's not what's going to happen.
Nope.
If you walk into work and kill a coworker, I promise you, you're going to be facing more than being fired.
Yeah.
Betty Shelby,
Have you ever
the
been
Tulsa police officer who murdered a man on television. We watched it go down. She's fired. She's charged. They give her a slap on the wrist. She moves one town over and gets rehired as a police officer. She is still working as a cop.
Hey, so real quick.
And she murdered Terrence Kircher on television, on live TV, killed the man dead.
I lost it. Whatever.
Sorry. Go.
No. I lost my train of thought.
You wanted to talk about the first sitting, and now we're talking about police state.
No, I'm the one that just jumped into, let's talk about so have you ever, I learned in the military how to do that, when you've got someone contained and you're kneeling on them.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that in Kung Fu. I learned that you know what I mean? It's
well, I mean, the proper, the first thing they did is, as they were getting down to demonstrate, the first thing the instructor says, if you put your knee on someone's neck, you're going to kill them. And if I see you do it, I'm going to knock your ass out.
Right.
No shit. Halfway through, someone was practicing, and I see the instructor go running and, heave this dude. And he says, I told you to keep your fucking knee off his neck.
Right. It's positional asphyxiation.
Yeah.
Just putting, a lot of times we'll see, if you guys watch reality TV police shows, you'll see somebody strapped into a little chair, right, with their little gag on. You can kill somebody that way. They can die from positional asphyxiation if they're not positioned really properly and really well in that. And it's actually something that kills infants every day because parents put them in a car seat or a bouncer seat and let them fall asleep, and the chin drops and positional asphyxiation.
Yep, you gotta have
happens all the time.
Bumper pads, right?
Yep. Happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. This convention, Erin, let's
that's why our nomination is so important, because the other two fuckheads aren't going to stop this, but any of our candidates would have.
Right.
And this is something that I trust Joe to be strong on, is police reform.
So let's start with that.
Any local libertarian that you choose to elect, not just our presidential candidate, but any local libertarian in your area will make a change.
Right.
Will have an impact. Will have a voice against police brutality and misabuse of force. I mean, that's our abuse of force. That
absolutely.
Any libertarian you elect will stand that ground.
Yeah, we're going to have Mercedes coming on here in a few minutes. She's running for.
She's badass too.
I don't know what district it is, but it's Nebraska State Senate.
Give Mercedes.
I promise her stand is going to. Her stand is probably going to be even more than ours, because that's one of her issues, I think, having talked to her. So
look, let's talk about, since we're talking about convention, let's start with that.
Yeah.
Let's start with our POTUS candidates, because I know I'm seeing it. I'm seeing all the, damn it, y'all picked the wrong candidate. Here's the reality. This is a statement you're going to hear from me a whole bunch throughout the show and throughout the next couple weeks. The largest percentage of our delegates chose our candidate.
I think Joe did a really good job, and she did this at our convention. And looking back, a couple weeks ago, I thought back to this, and I'm like, oh, she's good. She sat next to my wife and I and asked us, look, I know I'm not your first choice. I've heard you guys talking about Dan, but I would like to be your second. And that's how she fucking won, because people's first choice dropped out or she outlasted them.
Look, that's part of it. I don't think that's how she won. I think that there were probably a whole lot of factors involved.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say it like it's the only reason.
And I don't want people to take that the wrong way. I think all the candidates had that same strategy, or most of them anyway. Look,
except for
anytime there's a vote, there's going to be a winning side and a losing side. And if you come in on the losing side, suck it up and be a grown up. You'll get another shot. You're not going to win every vote. Your guy's not going to win every time. Your idea is not going to be the favorable idea every time. That's just reality.
Getting Spike as VP is the closest that the radicals have had to the ticket in my adult life. So you can deal with it.
And look, here's the deal. The same delegates that selected Joe Jorgensen as our candidate also selected Spike Cohen as our vice presidential candidate.
This is going to go down. This is going to go down in libertarian history as the great compromise. You watch. They both have strong strategies. Those candidates both have a strong strategy to make an impact on this election cycle. Both candidates do. And it is very possible if they don't, for lack of a better term, muddy each other's waters, they can and will make an impact on this election cycle. Dr. Jorgensen is an amazing individual.
Super smart.
Super smart. She understands the system. She understands the message. And she will absolutely make us proud every opportunity she has to be in front of us.
I'll tell you what else. She is a kind individual. She's a human being who is kind
very nice
and
person.
genuine.
She's a grandma.
What you see is what you get with Joe.
Yep. And okay, Spike is fired up.
Same with Spike. What you see is what you get. Neither one
Spike
of them
are fired up. He's a hard worker. He
while
delivers
we're talking
the message.
about this, though, there's a couple things I want to say because I'm seeing stuff online. I'm seeing people go, well, oh, this campaign graphic is horrible. I don't disagree with you. It's the same graphic that Joe Jorgensen used in 1996. Okay, go back and watch your acceptance speech. Same graphic, except that time it was green. This time it's purple. Right. Okay. Yes, it needs to be updated. All of those things.
It is getting updated.
But you're not doing anybody any favors when you go out on your own and go rogue and try and do stuff for this campaign. You must coordinate with the campaign team on donations. You'll get people in FEC trouble. On graphics, on messaging, yes, you must coordinate with the campaign team. Anybody else, there are some people that don't know how this works. The Libertarian Party, the LNC, the party proper, does not run these campaigns. These candidates will choose whatever campaign leadership they want. If they hire somebody, if they rely solely on volunteers, that is 100% up to them. And the party is not going to make them do anything differently. That's not how it works. It's not going to change this cycle. If you want to get involved, be involved. Reach out. I promise you, every state director for this campaign needs volunteers in every city. They need volunteers in every precinct. Let people know what you want to do. But when you go rogue, you hurt the campaign.
Yeah, I've been really proud of the rally here in Nebraska. And I'm lucky to be in a position that the ticket I was supporting, we kind of got in. You know, I'm a huge Spike advocate, so I'm all in. I support Joe. I've liked Joe. Joe has been she was my second choice. She asked me the same question. I know I'm not your first choice, but I'd like to be your second. She asked me the same question, and I respect that.
There's some really good people working on that campaign in leadership on that.
And we'll get there. And then we'll get there.
They're smart. They know what they're doing. Talk to them.
Yeah.
It's really simple. The rest of this convention, let's get into that since that's the thing.
The shit show, right?
Well, okay, so yes and no, right? There were certainly some down points. Some things went really well.
It was chaotic. Yeah.
I think that the actual voting, the actual balloting, it definitely improved. Teller speed, all of that improved.
Yep.
I think that part went really well. I think there were some problems, right? Speaker queues and people getting dropped. I know people are upset because Ms. Stenquist got dropped. I got dropped 2 or 3 times, so I relate to that. I know what that feels like. The same list that Ms. Stenquist was on, I was on, and we all got dropped. That's true.
So help me understand that. And I want to talk about the queue because that's going to be an area of contention for a long time. And I really want to point this out here. As a chairman, as a former chairman, 2-term chairman, and I've run Robert Rules meetings, and I have a basic understanding of how that process works.
Right.
But yes, Daniel Hayes was in the queue. Yes, Daniel Hayes jumped the queue. However, he was requested because there was information requested from the convention committee.
Correct.
And because he was already in the queue, he was jumped to the top of the line because of the request for that. And once he has the floor, once he's recognized, he had, and he was recognized, and that you can't undo that. He was recognized. Right. You can't undo that. He made the motion, and we voted on the motion. I mean,
well, the other thing is too is that the night before, Mr. Hayes had asked to be put in the queue to address this, and that was not done. He was told, "Yes, you will be," and then he wasn't.
I remember.
So that's
remember the
another part of
request.
the problem, right? A lot of people got dropped. We had panelists who had live mics, and we had a lot of delegates who wanted to speak, who were getting bumped because they couldn't just interrupt. At a live convention, you can, right? At an in-person convention, anybody can yell objection. Anybody can get up and go to the mic. Anybody can, yeah, right. So yeah, the speaking queue was a nightmare. I know Alex has some ideas to improve that. I know the COC is working with some of the best and the brightest in the IT field. We've spoken to some people that have a really pretty good fleshed out plan that they will be demoing for us in the next upcoming weeks, so that we can decide if that's a way we want to go that fully addresses the speaker queue. And addresses a lot of other things. One of the things that we had lined up to do at the in-person convention was to use like a Scantron ballot for speeding up those votes. We can't do that if we allow for any remote participation. So we're having to shift, because we are going to have some remote participation at very least from states that are prevented.
Just have an app?
Ish. So if you just use an app, there are a lot of security problems, and there's a lot of cost problems, and things like Follow My Vote. That's great, except that we have to have a paper trail.
So what
Votes have to be able to be audited. You can't audit without that paper trail.
I think there's a way to make digital paper trails.
I mean, ish, but then you've got and we did for this one, right? We kind of had a digital paper trail, but you have to consider the ability to audit. You have to consider the ability for record keeping. You have to do all that stuff. So people are already at the mercy of the chair in this one. That was the big complaint, and that was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, and did he swell with it? Yeah.
You know, there were certain points of order that were being read and being taken, and others that weren't. I learned very early on, if I wanted to actually make my point of order or my point of parliamentary inquiry, not to actually type out what it was, just to put POP,
yep,
or POO,
yep,
right? Because then Nick was going to have to at least let me talk to find out what it was I wanted. Because if you put it in there, half of them, whether they were valid or not, were being ruled that they weren't, and they were being skipped over and dumped. That's just fact. We watched it happen.
And they were skipped over like this. Iowa delegate. Okay, yeah, no, okay, no, right. And then on to the next.
Right.
Yeah, that's how they were being skipped.
That was a problem.
That's a major problem.
People were like posting objections. Like somebody would move something, and it would be objected to in the Q&A, and the objections were ignored. Things that didn't get seconds were being treated like they got seconds. Sarwarked, yeah.
Did you do that, Scott?
I did that.
We could do it at the same time. Oh my God, this is scary.
So look, and here's the deal too. I know a lot of people now are going, man, we should not have adjourned without addressing A, B, or C. The reality is over 70% of the delegates enrolled for that convention disagreed with you.
Yep.
For whatever
reason. The delegates spoke.
Whether they should have or not, whether they were tired or not. Look, if you're going to run for a delegate seat, don't run for a delegate seat if you're going to get tired and quit. It's a big job. It's a big responsibility. It means work. It doesn't mean just showing up and casting your vote for the big show. There's work to be done.
Let's talk about a big area of contention that I've heard about, which is everybody being checked out at the end of this convention. What does that do for credentialing for the next sitting?
Nothing. You just check back in.
Okay.
You just check back in. Now, and Nick made an argument that we can't do that. Look, I can't find in our bylaws where we can do that. However, I can't find in our bylaws where we can do anything online either. And I know that checking out has been a thing that the chair has allowed in past conventions, even though people were saying, wait a minute, our bylaws don't allow this. So we've already have precedent here to do this because it's been done. And the Credentials Committee is ready for that. They're prepared. It wasn't about being tired and quitting. It was about sticking to the agreed upon agenda. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to stick to an agreed upon agenda. The delegates spoke. You don't get to come out before the online convention and say, we need to trust the delegates. Let's put this in the hand of the delegates. And then when the delegates speak, go, oh, well, they're stupid, or they didn't know what they were voting on, or they were just tired. You don't get to do that. That's not okay. Our delegates are not stupid. Our delegates knew exactly what they wanted to do, and that's what they did.
Alrighty. So I think we've hit this topic. Erin has beautiful babies to go cuddle.
Yeah, guys, I love y'all, but my grandson is here. And as much as I would love to hang out with you all night, every night, he is freaking adorable.
Do it. Enjoy it while it lasts, right?
Absolutely. And be nice to Mercedes. Y'all are going to love her. Chick is badass, super sharp. She's amazing. We love Mercedes. You should love Mercedes. And hopefully you will love Mercedes enough to give her some money, because she is running a campaign. She is running for office, and running for office takes a couple of things. It takes knocking a whole lot of doors, and it takes money. So help her out. Seriously. Help her out. All those people who don't like our current bonus ticket, you're saying you're going to check out, you're saying you're going to focus on down ballot candidates. Cool. Start with this one. Please start with this one. Love y'all. Good night.
Later, Gator.
Hey, Mercedes.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, man, your husband has a decent setup. That sounds crisp.
He, Caleb, enough about me. It's Caleb Salvatore.
Oh no!
Oh,
I'm
don't
not
do
here to
that.
steal the show today.
Don't do that. Don't give him that.
Well, I mean, it's not his fault.
I mean, what do we want to talk about?
Erin was just ripping on the convention, and this was the first national convention I had ever watched or been at all with. I've been avoiding nationals since I joined the party because it's, that's a drink. Let's just take a drink.
Here's to that.
What the fuck was that?
Oh, what, this?
Yeah.
Oh.
How tall is that can?
It's 2 Coors Lights.
Oh.
And a koozie. America.
I mean, call it what it is. The chairman's a pussy bleeding little bitch.
Okay,
Let's
so
just be honest here.
I just found his mic drop speech at the end. So I was only half listening at this point, and I hadn't listened to it, and I just found it on YouTube while I was waiting. So I know that he said some things, but I have no idea what happened.
So basically, he handed off the gavel. For lack of a better term, he said, if you want to replace me, now's the time to do it, because I will not chair a second sitting. I will not chair the remainder of this meeting, nor a second sitting of a convention.
Oh, so he just gave up because he was tired of the filibustering that had been happening for the last freaking 20 hours.
Yeah,
I don't know that he gave up, but
so the thing is, and everyone's making a big deal about there were people intentionally. Tommy, we have a weird cast. Mercedes is our guest. Anyway, back to what that's the filibustering was less than a normal convention. 2018 was fucking stupid for filibustering.
It was easier because once you got recognized, like, you got the fucking mic, and there's nobody around you. There's nobody that can stick a piece of paper in front of your face. There's nobody that can interject. There's nobody that can do anything other than the chairman. So if the chairman recognizes you,
then you're on.
You're in control. Yeah.
But okay, so we've had our convention talk. And we can keep going if you really want to.
No,
I want to hear the crazy chicken lady talk about fighting City Hall.
Okay, so it's not so much. Okay, yeah, it's a fight. So I grew up here in Kearney. I'm from here. I was born here. I was the 7th generation of female born here. Like, we've been in Kearney since before the railroad was here.
For anyone who doesn't know, Kearney is a city out in the middle of Nebraska that's literally the worst city in Nebraska. I just want everyone to know that.
It's got cows, gas stations, and fast food.
That's Grand Island.
You've clearly never been to Grand Island, Zach.
I've been to Grand Island, but I've dated 2 girls that were going to Kearney. So
okay, going here at the university and being from here are 2 completely different things.
That's fair. Midland kind of has the same thing.
Oh my god!
Grand Island is false advertising. It is neither grand nor an island.
It is an island. It is an island.
Well, technically, but
in their in their defense, I've been to Kearney multiple times, and I have seen a black person there. So
funny story that actually. So back in the
I don't know if we want to go down that road.
Oh, we're going there. So back in the 70s.
Hold on. Scott, stop sharing from his page.
No, in the 70s, there was not a large population of anybody outside of the Kearney elite that lived here because we're a university town. And my mom was in the grocery store and she was like 2, 3. And she saw her first black person in the grocery store. And it was an embarrassing moment for everyone. Not because she was derogatory, but because that was the first person of color she had ever seen in her baby life. And babies don't have a filter. So that story gets told quite a bit, actually. I am a mixed race here in town, and that's fun, especially since now I am associated with chickens.
Yeah, kids naturally at that. I used to teach preschool. I worked in a preschool, and kids at a very young age they're just going to ask, why is their skin different than mine?
Dirty, Mom.
Yeah, some people don't get over it. My grandma's 68.
And some people never outgrow it.
Oh my God,
she got upset when she figured out my girlfriend isn't white for the first time. So it happens.
Yeah, I'm very.
She's OG American, right? She's Native American, right? So she's
half Mexican.
She's original.
Oh, it's that other part.
She's native to the continent, man. She's got priority over all of us.
Same.
Right.
So yeah,
men get away with any joke.
It's fucking white people shit. It's fine. So
That's my favorite phrase.
Yeah, dude, and the fact that I get to say it and it's just great. So yeah, this chicken thing. Kearney used to have chickens, and the rest of the state, I found out, refers to us as the country club. And for a couple of reasons, we have the most millionaires per capita in the state, last I checked. The Buckle corporate office was founded and is run here. And we just have a lot of bougie, small town things here. We forget we're rural because of the college. It's quite interesting. So I have a lot of people who are fighting this chicken thing by saying that they're dirty and they're barnyard animals. And what if my dog gets out and kills one? So those are the main complaints that I'm
Listen,
facing.
Brady, your chihuahua does not stand a chance against that fucking chicken. That is a baby raptor, and it will eat you.
That's my dude. Even my lab's gonna get fucked up by a chicken. Those
what I'm
talons.
Right.
And it's not just that. If you're a responsible pet owner, why is your dog in my yard?
Hey, do you want to take the Mises Caucus survey? For candidates? They want to donate to candidates?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Sure.
Yes, you
What's
do.
Scott? Scott's in charge.
Tell everyone your last name, because Lord knows I can't do it.
It's Damratowski.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You're married, yes?
Yes, I am.
Did you marry into that name
I did.
on purpose?
I did. And my
Okay.
last name, my maiden name is Lieb, Lieb. It's nice in German.
All right.
So I gave up.
Next campaign, we're going back to your original, especially being from Kearney, going with Mercedes Lieb. My goodness, you will win every time.
Can't you just move to like one of the northern Nebraska cities towns between Omaha and Sioux Falls? You'll win for sure.
Well,
One
I
of the
used to
Polish communities.
I went to college in Norfolk, so I'm trying to avoid that side of the state. Thank you.
Oh, you pronounced it the wrong way. Oh, what a shame.
Norfolk?
Yeah.
Norfolk is correct. It's not Norfolk. Fuck them.
It's Norfolk.
It's Norfolk.
You can pronounce the L, but they're going to fight you, and they're all really, really redneck up there, so.
Well,
I refer to it as the town that shall not be named.
Let's not use racial slurs.
Redneck is racial now?
Its origins are racial. It's a Scottish slur.
Hey, the word white trash got me a 2-day Facebook ban. So. At least they're fucking consistent, right?
At least you said white trash. I said something
I forgot about that, Danny.
You
True.
cannot spell drive without UNK. Yes, that is. Except that we have an authoritarian state controlled by the police. It's fine.
My wife's alumni from UNK.
Nice. We used to be the teacher college.
Yeah.
We have.
She got our art education masters. So.
And we have.
UNO's the teacher college now.
Is it?
I think.
Mm.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Midland is like a nurse college, and football players. That's what comes out of there.
They're all
Midland
right,
has
they all
every
have college
sport.
education. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, Midland tried to build a college off the idea of being a sports school, and I don't know how the fuck you pull that off at the NAIA level.
Yeah, but tell you what, it gets your president fucking elected to Senate. So,
Fuck that guy so much. I was there when he was there. I fucking hate that douche.
Yeah, most people do.
Fuck you, Ben Sass.
That weren't there.
Ben's ass.
Oh, Ben Sass. Why would you bring him up?
Because he just made a Ben Sass out of himself a couple days ago.
Yep.
Oh my God! Somebody shared that to me as it the day of graduation. It got shared with me right away because whoever watched it shared it, and I didn't watch it right away. I waited because I was taking the weekend off from Idiocracy, and then I watched it, and then he got to the psychology part, and then I was like, "Oh boy, you went to college! Like, why are you on the GOP train right now, trashing everything?" But then now we've nominated a psychologist, so it makes sense.
See, I had a good relationship with his opponent, Chris Janicek, and I think the more he's learned about me, the more he's cut himself off from me. So,
Goodness, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna get that conservative vote, yo.
He won't.
Yeah. The conservative vote is a hard vote to get. You have to talk about finances. You got to talk about budgets. You got to talk about taxes, Mercedes. You got to talk about. Yeah, but that's a hard line to drive with a lot of these people. So maybe not lead with taxation as theft. Maybe lead with taxation as extortion.
Okay.
And then work your way to taxation as theft.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So really your impact on that though in your district race and your legislative race, your impact on that is minimal. As a first year congresswoman or whatever, a senator,
legislator.
Yeah, there you go. Right. But you could form some serious alliances in the Senate right now. It's a great opportunity. What are some of your key platform issues that you're running on right now, kid?
Right now, in our area, we have a property tax issue. We have an assessor in our county that is. There was an article posted that she was too old to run the assessor program, so she was just winging it and doing what other people were telling her to do. And that was like last year before. And so we just have a lot of different tax reform things we can do here. We have a lot of different reorganizing that we can do in our school system. Kearney has a really, really large homeschooling population. And they work really well with our public school system so that homeschool kids can still be in band and sports and stuff with the other kids, but still get their main education from home. Right. So focusing on where we're at in education in this pandemic has been a weird blessing in that just because we do have the time to assess that and maybe change some things around. A lot of my friends are teachers. I don't know why, but they like me. And so I listen to them since they're in charge of our future. And then the other part is the chickens, is just being able to have individual liberties in my area, in my town, that will help us live better, healthier lives. My main thing that people tell me to get off of is mental health in rural areas. Our mental health access out here is abysmal for the population ratio. And there are a lot of things that are in that way with the medical regulations and such that are going on in the state. So there's just a lot of different little things that can be removed right now in the system that would make all of our lives just a lot better out here. We're so sparsely populated that we get overlooked a lot. And with our farms are starting to be more corporate, there's less people my age that are farming. So there's just a lot of different rural problems that are individual to rural Nebraska that aren't being addressed. And it's adding to a lot of the income inequality and education problems that we're having, and it's just not being talked about.
So what would you say? What would you say is the easiest, the first easiest thing that you want to target that you think would have the low, kind of the best return on investment for the effort that you were putting in?
Chickens. Literally, the first thing that I'm focusing on is chickens. It's simple. It's where I'm at. It benefits everyone in the long run, if you think about it.
I prefer to buy my eggs from a guy well, not anymore because I work at a different job, but I used to buy my eggs all the time from a guy at work because he had chickens.
And that's what I mean. I have run out of eggs during this pandemic because the store ran out of eggs in this pandemic, and because of the licensing restrictions from farm to table, we're having a supply problem. And also in Kearney, we have a major food distributor for restaurant services. We have Cashway. And so when I heard that there was a supply chain disruption and I knew that we had this in our backyard, it was a really big problem because it wasn't being addressed. It was just being overlooked. So I guess that's supply chain is one of the easiest things. What I know about Kearney is that it was on Dexter.
Was that? I've never watched Dexter. I know what it is.
Oh my gosh. You put it next in your queue. Whatever you're watching, finish what you're watching and put Dexter in your queue.
It's not
amazing show.
I don't have a queue. I just like the next thing I'm gonna watch is the Robert the Bruce movie because I'm a homer and I don't know after that.
We just started Schitt's Creek.
Oh, that's good too. But Dexter is worth the watch. I didn't like the way it ended. I didn't like the way it ended at all.
Good shows never have good endings.
Also, something I was going to tackle, I forgot since I just remembered. I spoke hemp, not Spokane CBD hemp. Sorry.
NorthSpokaneCBD.com, 15% off.
If you use the promo code DRUNK, you get 15% off. Why wouldn't you take advantage of that offer?
Well, because I live in Kearney and I've been supporting a local hemp store because I can't go to Colorado whenever I want. One of my biggest things that I want to help try to push forward maybe a little quicker is marijuana legalization. Marijuana legalization in this state will completely help us recover financially from this pandemic, especially since we originally are the hemp state. The only reason why we stopped making hemp was because the feds prohibitioned it. Fuck the feds.
Fuck the feds.
So maybe I will go to North Spokane CBD and get some discounted off on my next purchase.
You should. You should. Because they're good people running that show.
I don't.
They're good people running that show over there. So let's talk about the hemp versus CBD. Have you what is the difference between the two?
Well, it is CBD hemp flower.
Okay.
So I smoke the.
So it's all the same.
It is the same. It just doesn't have the THC, which for me, I do have PTSD and I have anxiety and I have the ADHD. So for me personally, I have to medicate with pharmaceuticals because I'm not allowed to use medical marijuana to treat the way I want to. Do my meds work? Yes. Do they make me less processy? Yes. And I don't like that, but it's all
shitty trade-off. I have to make, I don't take my meds because the trade-off isn't worth it to me. And it sucks that we have to make that trade.
That's why I got prescribed once medicine for anxiety and I stopped. I'm a hypochondriac. I've seen therapists over it, all kinds of shit. All the comedy you see, all the content that I make is a fucking product of me freaking the fuck out on a weekly basis thinking I have a brain tumor. So you're welcome.
It'd be like that though. So yeah, I like the CBD because I have arthritis. I was a welder. I abused the shit out of my body. And now I hurt. So the CBD helps with the physical pain, but it doesn't help with the mental pain like I would like it to. So that is in part of the mental health access is access to medical marijuana. Because America.
And look, as long as our laws are like Oklahoma's laws, so we can all just get medical marijuana, I'm cool with that.
Honestly, though.
So speaking of which, guys, get out there. Find your local petitioners. There is a petition going around the state of Nebraska right now. We need to, if we put it on the ballot and we approve it, the governor can't veto it.
Yeah.
Here's my issue, though.
Yeah.
Here's my issue with medical marijuana because I could easily get it prescribed, right? My issue is if I get it prescribed, I can't purchase a firearm because it'll pop up on the background check.
And
while I already have 17, I want more. So
So there we go with reframing the way that we legislate mental health. Mental health should not be criminalized. Suicide,
that's the federal. That's on the federal level.
True, but states can.
But I can pop the fuck out of hydroxy pills, man, and go shooting all day long.
Yeah,
yeah, you can.
But I can't smoke a joint and take a walk.
Nope.
Green grass bad. Orange man good. What?
No.
Something like that.
You got to watch out for those quips there, Mercedes, because if you say orange man, somebody's gonna snapshot that and be like Mercedes, whatever you're.
There's no doubt about my stance on that locally. Unfortunately, I was okay. So in 2016, I was at the bar watching the election at the bar. I took the day off work. My roommate was 21. We started drinking in the morning, drank all day. I broke her. She didn't drink for 6 months after that. Watched the election, started poking boys in their buttholes because they kept wanting to grab people by the pussy. It was great. And I said, I'm going to end up having to run for state legislature because y'all elected Trump and things are going to get weird. And here I am.
Here we are.
God damn it. And Vermin Supreme ran for president.
Vermin Supreme was damn near our nominee.
I'm on his campaign team, though, so I'm biased. So he's cool. He's cool.
He's a super smart guy when you talk to him.
Does he still
he doesn't look like a crazy.
I love Vermin Supreme. I am in on the joke.
I am in.
And that's all I'm going to say.
So
if you're not in on the joke, go get in on the joke.
Oh yeah, because Raptor isn't a Vermin fan. That's right. I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
Here's the deal. It's not that I don't get the joke. I just don't think it's very good. Like there's not enough juxtaposition there to make it funny to me.
Usually no.
Dan was better at it because it was like you have this eloquent, handsome man in a suit and tie. What the fuck is that hat? Like that's more interesting to me than the guy that just tore up from the floor up, and that's his commentary.
The thing about Vermin is when you hear Vermin talk, it should be coming out of John McAfee's body, and when John McAfee talks, it should be coming out of Vermin's body. That's what I figured out.
Yes.
God, I'm getting text. I'm afraid. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. Zach, I'll fill the dead air. Slapjack is back.
Slapjack's back.
I invited him to like the page of Scott Zimmerman for LNC at large, which everyone should.
So you knew he was back before any of us, and you didn't fucking tell us.
Dude, my day's been really busy.
That news is news you should stop everything.
I thought he was already back though.
I have no idea. This is the first I've seen of him. I thought he got
at the Nebraska convention because he was talking shit about David, who's been boomering out all over the fucking. I don't even care anymore. Y'all can get mad at me. David's a fucking boomer.
Well, yes, he was born in that.
Sure, but that's not what a boomer is. That's a baby boomer, and those are different. And part of the difference is knowing the difference.
Part of the difference is knowing the difference.
That's what, like Tom Arnold, baby boomer, not a boomer, because he knows the difference.
Fair enough. I've taken it easy on the boomers, though.
You have.
I figured out the best sets I've ever had in my life have been in front of largely baby boomer audiences. And that's because they don't get as offended as easily as people my age do.
They're not fragile little snowflakes.
I definitely thought you said sex.
Sex. Best sex in front of baby boomers. My best sex in my life.
Whatever. Hey man, do what you want, Caleb, man.
No, sex in front of a live audience might be more for Brooke Barcel, so I'll leave it at that.
It's fine. It's fine.
Do you know who he's making fun of now? Hey, are you coming out to the show in June?
June 6th.
Comedy and Chaos on Mass Comedy.
Where is it at?
Omaha.
Right here in Omaha.
I could probably attend that. I don't.
Yeah, you'll love it.
We're not making any money off of it, or at least I'm not. I'm donating.
No, all proceeds are going to go to homeless people or something. So
Food bank for the heartland.
Truth be told, like every time we do a gig at the show, any money I walk away with gets tipped to the bartenders anyway.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Wired Pub, and I want it to stay around. I appreciate Nate and what he's done for the music scene here in town, and what he does he takes really good care of people. There's not a lot of venues that you can go here in town and play and actually expect to get paid. And if you do the work and you bring the people in, he's going to take care of you. I mean,
I wish I could sound that noble. Mine just gets thrown at my Nebraska Furniture Mart card. So
last month.
Hey, mine's down to like $500. But today I fucking bought brown patio cushions instead of tan, and I got fucking in trouble for it. So
oh shit, your girlfriend?
Yes, I bought brown. She's like, "Did you really buy the brown?" I go, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my god." And I go, is that a problem? She goes, "No, it's fine," which fine is code word for you're not getting laid for a week. So
at least she's Hispanic, so she's spicy. We got a temper.
She's the whitest Hispanic you'll ever meet. Let's call it like it is.
Yeah, dude.
That's fine.
She is.
It's cool. Was she at the convention?
No.
Oh.
She was working.
It's not fine. Yeah, the last real social thing I ever did, the Nebraska State Convention.
I'm sorry.
It's not fine.
Yeah, that was a well put together production, like what we watched this weekend. And to be honest with you, since this was your first convention, and anybody out there that's watching, that this was your first convention to tune into, it's always like this.
It's work. That was because Nick was able to just do whatever the fuck he wanted and ignore people. It was actually a cleaner convention.
I was going to say that seemed like it went really, really well for being online and libertarian and thrown together last minute with nothing actually happening, with everybody already mad and not wanting to do it anyway. The participation was outstanding, honestly.
Yeah,
it's fine.
So how is you were fighting? Sorry, I'm going back to the little baby raptors.
It's fine. How do you think
it's going to go? Like,
I'm sorry.
How do you think it's going to go in your city to get how's that?
Well, I think it's going to go the way most things go in Kearney. I'm not going to say it's going to happen because I don't want to get my little chicken heart hopes up. But I have support from two different city council members, one of which I knew was going to support me. He was against the chicken ban anyway. He's the only city council member that was against it then. He and I have spoken. He's really libertarian. He wouldn't tell me what he said. He's independent politically. He wouldn't give me the goods on how he really felt, but just talking to him, he's one of us. Then another person supported me. Her name is Tammy Moore. She is a realtor in town, which really surprised me. She voiced support when I presented to the city council. And I've been talking to both of them. I have the Kearney Chicken Coalition page now that me and Adam Prohaska are running together. He's a Kearney local. His mom works for the school system, and she's the coolest teacher ever. I think she's like an aide. So yeah, we're running that page. We had a virtual petition up. We have to go through and check the signatures though, because we didn't scale it to only Kearney. We got to make sure that the people on it are Kearney people. But yeah, everything's just coming together. I know that there's one city council member that is against it. I'm not going to say names for him because.
So you don't have to say names, but give me what's the reasoning?
He's like, what if my dog gets out and kills your chicken?
Oh, it's that he's on the council.
Yeah, it's that guy. What if?
Then build a bigger fucking fence. That's what I would say.
You're not, but I also heard that I can't say that. Just kidding. There are just petty arguments against it. So it's kind of like the state convention. I'm going to have to go through and systematically debate all of the protests and hope that the other two city council members are swayed, because there's 5 on the council. Mayor is one of them, and then 4 other members. So yeah, I have a lot of support from the community. A lot of people want chickens. the one council member said that the ordinance I proposed, which I stole from Ben from our party, Ben, because he's the chicken man. So I stole his ordinance, and that to one member was too restrictive even. So it's looking good, but I don't know yet. I just want chickens. People keep telling me that their kids found out that I'm trying to get chickens in town, and now all of the parents keep getting asked, when are we going to get chickens? So nice. I have the youth on my side.
The chicken lady.
That's,
I love it.
That's crazy that you can't have a fucking chicken in Kearney. Like, I can move into La Vista and have one tomorrow if I really wanted one.
You can have chickens in Grand Island, but that's just it. And Kearney, chickens are dirty. So I could probably have Orlep trying to have a house.
So's that dude's dumbass dog. All right.
What is it with people in Kearney and being all stuck up? Tell them to log out of their MySpace accounts and get all excited about the internet they just discovered last week.
Well, and that's just it. During the election, even, I was reaching out to different people in the community because I'm very concerned with our election process and the integrity of it. Like, all of our polling places are staffed by elderly people, and we're in the middle of the worst pandemic in a century. Like, our democracy is literally under attack right now. Like, who's going to staff the polling stations? I forgot what I was doing now because I went on a rant about polling stations and chickens.
So, no, I do have a follow-up. But I've had too much to drink tonight. Follow-up question. How much did you get, or like what percentage did you get in the primary?
Yeah, that. So at 8 p.m. when I checked the polls, right, when they started releasing it for us plebs to look at, I had 24% of the vote already with over 1,000 people. And then as the night wore on and the votes came in, I dropped down to 22%. I didn't break the 2,000 vote mark, but I did almost break the 2,000 vote mark.
So what's your plan to flip that?
So
make up the ground.
So only 36% of the registered voters in my district voted. And so I have the rest of that percentage to try to get active. And so this is the first step, just finally allowing myself to be interviewed with people. I also, that article, I had an article in the paper. The paper did an article with me about the chickens, not politically related, just because chickens. And the Omaha World Herald picked that up. And I just found out that our local news station also ran something about it, I think online. Somebody told me yesterday. And I'm just doing road signs. With the pandemic, can't really go door knock. It's not safe right now. But I did have the bright idea of maybe doing some community barbecues, some low-key, like in the park, grilling patties here, have a burger, bye. Have a mask with it or something. Just trying to figure out ideas to just, it's summertime, be in the community. I had the primaries. I didn't do anything before the primaries. I wanted to wait for the primaries to feel out how many people disliked my opponent. Because that's purely what this was. I didn't do much to get these votes except be on the ballot. So now it's just letting people know who I am, who we are as a party, and just getting out there, shaking hands and kissing babies. Only not.
Do you feel like our presidential ticket will help you kind of leverage some conversations?
Yes. Okay.
Don't kiss babies right now.
I know. No babies. Okay, so yes, our president.
If you can avoid it.
Yeah, don't shake hands either.
I know. I said because it's a pandemic.
Wave and blow kisses, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, maybe you can kiss hands and shake babies.
Smile and wave. Okay, so throw hamburgers at people. There. I need a wiener cannon.
Thank you for finishing that.
I should not have set my camera right in front of the screen.
That's true, actually. That's a thing. Same though. So what was I talking about? Vermin Supreme, Joe Jorgensen. So yes, I discovered Vermin Supreme when I was in high school. a decade ago. And I've been on his team since because I got the joke then. He was making fun of the establishment. It was the most brilliant thing my little internet newbie thing could ever think. So being that his VP is on the ticket and can connect to the youths, and Jo Jorgensen being the adult she is, I think that we are going to possibly be unstoppable. Honestly, I'm feeling good about this election. I'm a little bit afraid we're going to win. But yeah, I really like Jo Jorgensen. I'm sad Vernon didn't win, but I'm very pleased with who we picked. She represents the party very well and is not crazy. And she plays hockey. She's the best.
What do you think of Spike?
I like Spike.
Yeah.
I like Spike.
Go Spike.
Oh, I forgot he was your boy's VP. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Spike.
See, I learned about Vermin through Tosh.0.
Did you?
Yeah. Same way I learned about Joe Exotic. So
Still have not watched Tiger King?
don't. It's a waste of time.
Okay.
Caleb's the only one who's seen it here.
I've seen it. It was a waste of 8 hours of my life. I'll put it that way. But I couldn't.
I'm still a
stop
holdout.
watching it.
I'm still a holdout.
He used to come to our mall. It was the highlight of our summers. We always got to pet the white tigers, and there were always babies. Except 1 year. They didn't have babies 1 year. But I've met them. They were there. I didn't realize it. It's fine. It's not fine. Joe Exotic.
So Mercedes, where do people find information about your campaign? Where's the best place to find?
Yes, please go to votemercedes.com. I also have the Vote Mercedes 2020 Facebook page, and you can follow me on Twitter at Mercedes L. Lieb. Is my Twitter handle. I also, just the Facebook, the Twitter, and the website. If you want to send me letters, you can. That information, I guess emails are what I prefer. But all that should be on my webpage, along with our party platform links and a place where you can donate.
Donate today. She needs
I just
to get
followed you
literature.
on Twitter. So
I do.
literature.
I need literature. So here's the thing, though. I failed English 2 times a year every year in high school. So literature is going to be help.
Okay.
You have a party for that.
I know. But also, Brian did my my graphics. He is the man.
He does great work.
The man. It was great. So yeah, join the party at lp.org. Is that it? Okay.
Yep.
I'm just trying. I'm trying my
You're
little
doing a
baby
good job.
best. I'm trying my little baby best. Don't switch me back to adult after I've decompressed. How dare you?
We believe in you. We're here to support you. We'll get you through this.
Thanks.
So
it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I just wish we could throw real parties.
I wish there were parades.
You can. June 6th, Saturday, Wired Pub and Grill, Comedy Unmasked.
There you go.
I'll be hosting it. Scott will be on the show, on the bill.
Mr. Z.
Fucking Bill Queen, candidate for mayor of Omaha 2021.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Is he running? Is that for sure?
Yeah, he's gonna run. We're gonna make him run.
He's gonna run.
Because if Dre's not going, I'm not going.
Dre will be there.
Dre will be there.
Keep her away.
What?
Dre is so ready to get back into doing this shit every week.
I got to meet them one time, and then the pandemic happened, and now I've been isolated in Kearney.
Well, we'll get you out, kid. It'll be a good time.
And we still need somebody to run the sound. So if you want to run the sound,
No, you don't need someone to run the sound. I'm already recording. I'll do it from the soundboard.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna hit you right in the dick.
All you got to do is introduce me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting there anyway because I've got the fucking thing working so that we can record.
Great, one less person I gotta pay. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but this means I'm gonna charge you double.
Well, how much is
Okay, then I'm gonna hire someone else for half what you would charge.
Yup.
Okay.
Fuck it. I'll do it.
Are you gonna pay them? Because I don't think I was charging.
See, I'm trying to get
I'll do it.
I'm trying to get Mia to do it, but she won't. She doesn't fucking talk, so she can't do it.
Just to run sound.
She can't even click buttons in front of a crowd of people, man.
Caleb, we don't need somebody to run sound. We'll just set it up. Well, I ran that open mic there for months, so I can set it all up. I got this.
Hit the button to get the music playing and say, "Here comes so and so," right?
No, so the way it'll work is the only talking the sound guy has to do is be like, all right, and here's your host, Caleb Salvatore, and I go up and talk, and then you just play the music whenever I say the next comic's name. So that's all they gotta do.
Oh, we
want to do that?
We gotta feed Caleb's ego. We gotta feed Caleb's ego.
Yeah.
He needs a hype man.
It's helpful for me to be there anyway, because then I can run the sound that I'm already doing and the cameras.
You know what, Zach? It actually makes sense because you can show up, you can do your little hootie hoo thing, and you can say like, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Caleb Salvatore."
Nope, Zach's out. We're finding somebody. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm a hootie hoo like I've never hootie hooed before.
Oh my god, I downloaded that game.
What game?
Oh, Animal Crossing.
Oh, is that in that game?
Yes. Okay, so there's an owl and he works at the museum and he goes hootie hoo.
So hootie hoo is what you yell when the cops are breaking up a party.
Well, he says it.
Man, that owl seen some shit.
See,
you might want to ask him about
where the fuck did you grow up where you yelled hootie hoo if the cops were breaking up a party? We yelled, shit, it's the cops, run!
It's from a
We yelled 5-0.
We just didn't get busted.
That's because you grew up in South Compton. That's because you grew up in South Compton, Scott. That's why you yelled that.
Yeah.
Us West Omaha kids, we just yelled, fuck, it's the cops. My dad's lawyer's gonna bail me out of this one.
Somebody call my dad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we yelled at.
Well,
I'm
that
just
was
kidding.
not my
I did
childhood.
not grow up rich, or I would not be a comedian. I promise you that.
Yeah, my mom used to say, if you get arrested, don't call me.
Right.
Yeah.
My mom told me I get one time she'll bail me out of jail. That's it. After that, I got to figure it out myself. I still haven't used it yet. Still
I've only
haven't used it
gotten
yet.
bailed out of jail once, so it's fine.
That's funny crap.
That one time.
Bailed out of jail once.
Oh man.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's
Mercy, it's been great having you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. See you guys later. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. You were a wonderful guest,
Oh, thank
and you put up with Caleb fantabulously.
I like Caleb. Caleb is my spirit animal.
Why do you think people hate me?
God, he just
Everyone loves Caleb. What are you talking about?
Out of the
Scott, you know that's not true.
No, but for real, I would sit down and talk to you for hours. Fuck it. I like it.
I burned 2 very significant bridges in the matter of 5 minutes on Monday. You know that's not true, Scott.
Oh, I got to hear about it. All right, we're going to end the broadcast so I can hear this story. We'll see y'all next
Yeah, we can talk about it.